And here we have an introduction from the top to the first out-of-box experience, introducing the game's premise as a professionally rooted automotive motorsport racer. Going through the game modes, the NFS World Tour, and beginning our test lap, which is an introduction for players of all skill levels to get familiar with the car, the way the game drives, and then get a first-hand look at the options menu, which allows you to set up your difficulty level for AI, your physics model, the scalability of the assists, visual damage versus full performance damage, and of course automatic versus manual gearing. So again, we introduce you in a BMW here. It's a really good mid-range car, mid-engine, solid feel. It's also in this precursor test lap, the car that you use in the first career event to set up the career economy. So the system right now is determining how long you're staying on the track, how close you are to the race line, and really just in a quick test lap around Brands Hatch layout here, it is going to give you a recommendation about your skill settings. And again, that's also just a mechanic for allowing the player to see what the option settings are, setting the physics scalability, the level of difficulty, the visual damage versus full performance damage, and the manual versus automatic gears. And here you see an example of the game's difficulty, physics, damage levels, fully scalable for the user preference. Again, the system's made a determination during that test lap in under a minute as to what settings to go on. Allowing the player to get a first look at this is just a control for getting them into the options menu without them having to explicitly go through the options menu. And again, giving new players a kind of a quick glimpse at what the game's calculated their skill level and their physics model to be, kind of for the best gameplay experience. So the career spans 4 tiers, multiple race organizations. Within each race organization are multiple game events. Game events change, their difficulty ratchets up, their variations evolve as the game experience evolves. You see here an example of the star system, which is really the progression mechanic for the career. In each event, there is a total number of stars that are possible. You see here in this completed event, we've earned a second place finish for 2 stars, and we've completed both in-game challenges for an additional 2 stars, but we still haven't placed first in this race. So while we've got 4 out of 5 stars, leading to our total of 14, we don't have to get 5 of 5 or even 4 of 5 in each event to progress to the next race organization. As we can see here, defined by the UI, we need a total of 10 stars for the next race organization, and for the third, the new time attack mode, a total of 20 stars. So there's quite a lot to go back and play here, even though you don't need to unlock or complete all 5 stars in every event to unlock the next org. You can always go back and replay in order to capture all of those accomplishments. So a total of 30 stars are required to unlock Tier 2, where you'll be introduced to Car Battle for the first time. And in Car Battle, we see a matchup of infamous pairings. Cars that are often thought to be so close in comparison that only the driver's skill sets them apart. So here we've let drivers go head-to-head with AI, picking their car, and they're picking which car they'll be competitive in, going for a best-of-3 challenge series for either a 5-second lead or whoever's first across the finish line, coming back and trying it again. Here we just see some of the popular pairings of cars in this game mode, like the RX-7 versus the Z4, the WRX versus the Mitsubishi Evolution, Camaro versus Challenger. In Tier 2, we also see Drift introduced for the first time, Mixed Series, as well as USA, Japan, and European Series, which is an example of introducing regional battles with manufacturers from USA, Japan, and Europe against each other.